What's up, people? It's your boy Kenneth here, streamhomeloan.com, 100 years of wealth. Back at it again with some content for you that can hopefully add some value to what you got going on. So really quickly, you might notice something different. If you look at all my other videos, there are no suits present. There's no collar shirts, maybe a collar shirt, but there's no suits. There's no dress attire. I am normally completely casual. But today was a different day. I stood in front of the judge. I had to go to court today because me and my wife are involved in a purchase of a property that is currently in a trust. So this video can be twofold, right? Like, I'm all about comfort. I'm all about dressing how you want in your work environment to make you feel the most comfortable. But if you have a client or an associate or a meeting or something where you feel like that particular party is more likely to attach a suit to some sort of professionalism, success, whatever, play the game, adhere to the rules of where you're playing at, right? So when I go to a judge, I'm assuming the guy's probably a little bit older than I am, a little bit more old school thinking. Possibly, I could be wrong. The guy could be, wearing shorts under his judge's gown. But I made the choice to say, okay, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go in there, respect his courtroom. There's no time for me to say, nah, man, I want to dress how I want to dress. I want to show a little flavor. I want to wear the cool sweater that I got. No, I can do that in my own office when I'm not presenting to someone. And truly, my opinion in that scenario is the only thing that matters, right? But when you're going in front of a client, a judge, a group of people where you want to present a certain image, especially where you don't have a lot of time to speak, right? Today, I didn't have time to articulate my point to the judge so that he can be like, hey, even though this guy's wearing sweatpants, he's still a very smart, savvy guy. When I talk to clients, a lot of time I've spent time on the phone with them where they're, hearing me articulate how I'm going to help them out, answering their questions, so that when I meet them, if I'm just wearing a basic collar shirt or even a t-shirt and some jeans, as long as I'm looking nice, like clean and presentable, then they're not really stressed about me wearing a suit or not. I think a suit is like a layer that can offer people comfort when they meet someone, when they don't have any other information to process. You meet someone for the first time, you're about to try to find out if this person's serious about business or not. If they're wearing a t-shirt, you don't know anything about them, they're wearing t-shirt, jeans, and tennis shoes, you might initially have that perspective that, hey, this person's not really that serious, maybe they're not that successful, they're not that professional. But that's really dependent on that client's experience in professional environments. So if they've only really dealt with people suit and tie, then they might look at you and think something different. But we don't really care too much about what someone's opinion is about us, but we care about the end goal, right? So if your end goal is trying to convince this person to work with you, and you don't really have that pretext of conversation where you've already explained your experience, answered questions, created the comfort level, then maybe on that first meeting, it would be smart to dress appropriately. It doesn't mean that you have to have a suit and tie on, but maybe just dressing a little bit less casual can avoid those first impressions of maybe you not being professional enough, right? In circumstances where you have the ability to really articulate yourself well, I think that we can always get over those hurdles of just that basic cosmetic expectation that a lot of people have regarding like professional dress attire, things like that. But in a scenario where you don't have that opportunity to really get on a one-on-one with the person, a lot of times your presentation is going to be the first thing that they see, of course. And if you don't have a bunch of time to articulate yourself, then that's going to be really all that they see, and then they're going to kind of make their decisions on that. So today I went to court to get this court confirmation so that we could proceed forward with the sale or the purchase of this property. I had literally probably 30 seconds to speak to the judge at the end just to make my point that we really needed him to expedite his court order, right? So all he saw first, before I even spoke 2 words, he saw me and my wife sitting there, very well dressed, looking professional, and not even looking professional per se, but looking like we're taking his courtroom serious, right? You might have a judge that's not that sensitive, that's like, hey, I don't care if you show up in a t-shirt or sandals or whatever the case is. But understanding how judges treat their courtroom, and they expect a certain decorum and a certain level of understanding and respect, you definitely want to approach that with sensitivity, right? Like I had a court scenario that wasn't like business related, where I had to go to court, and it was the same thing. I'm like, dude, I don't normally wear suits, but right now I'm gonna wear a suit so I can show this person full level of respect. Even if me personally, a suit doesn't represent respect, you got to put yourself in the other shoes for a second. And a judge that's up there handing out, sentences, handing out approvals, saying yes or no, basically making a decision that's going to affect what you're trying to do going forward. You got to play the game a little bit, and that goes throughout business. If I'm going to meet with some people that I've never met before, they don't know who I am, I'm going to dress at least at the base standard of what people consider as business professional attire, so that I'm not putting myself behind the 8 ball. I'm not going to show up looking casual and comfortable in a scenario where everyone else is looking professional and ready to go, and that immediate response until I convince them and show them some character, and show them that I'm very knowledgeable at what I do. Until then, they're going to be looking at me like, dude, like, bro, we're all here in suits. What makes you think that you can just pop up in here with a t-shirt on and a backwards hat, and that we're all gonna look at you and expect great things out of your mouth, right? People are gonna look at you and be like, this person is dressed casual. This person is not understanding the seriousness of where they're at. And they could be completely wrong. You could be the smartest person in the group, but if you need those people to believe in you or to be convinced by you for your transaction to move forward, then you want to play the game. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't take like I said again, a suit and tie necessarily, but it just takes you presenting yourself well, presenting yourself as ready for the moment. And that can go for like sports too. Like you show up to like a basketball tryout and you got some like boots on and some jeans, and you're like, no, I can ball, let's go. The coach is gonna be like, my guy is not prepared, right? Even if you're the best person on the court, even if over the next hour or two you're ready to show them that you're the best, the reality of it is that first impressions do go a long way, and you don't want that to stop anything that you're trying to achieve just because you want to be comfortable. You always want to consider what you're stepping into, to make sure that you present the right way, to give yourself the best opportunity for success. It's not about what they think, it's about what you think, right? Or let me take that back. It's not about necessarily like adhering to what other people think. It's about you getting what you want, achieving your goals out of the transaction, out of that scenario. So right now, went to court, asked the judge with much respect, Your Honor, we're in a tight situation on our loan transaction. Interest rates have gone up. We really need this court order expedited, or it puts us in a iffy situation with the financing. He asked me how long our rate was locked for. I told him, and then he was very polite and said, okay, you know what, have them send over the request right away. We'll get that back to you right away. But I could imagine that if I was up there just looking kind of sloppy, looking like I do when I'm working from home and no one's around, I got jeans on that might be wrinkled, might have pulled the shirt off the top of the hamper, I don't know. But if I'm looking like that, even before any words are spoken, the judge might be like, dude, this guy is just not taking this serious. You don't know if this person's had a bad day. He was annoyed by the last person that came in the court late. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know. So the last thing you want is to create an additional hurdle by not presenting yourself properly, and then really putting a hurdle in front of your own success and sabotaging your own goals. So keep that in mind, dress accordingly. And that does not mean always wear a suit, right? That just means play to your audience, right? Play to who you're presenting to. And I think you'll do very well in those situations. Second thought, you know what, I'm gonna save that for another video because I think that's a whole different piece of content. But yeah, once again, like and subscribe. Hopefully I'm giving you guys some value. Hopefully I'm giving you some information that assists you in your progression towards whatever goals you're trying to achieve. Like, subscribe. It's 100 years of wealth to you and yours. Cheers to living life with no fears. StreamHomeLoan.com. Please like, subscribe, and share with anyone that you know. Appreciate you.